Every Wednesday, as I mentioned, we highlight the perspective of women, women in business, philanthropy, politics, the arts. And my next guest right here, you could check almost every box: business, philanthropy, motherhood, the arts. Zen Sam's model, actress, supermom, philanthropist joins us right now, and she is still north of the border in Canada. Hey, Zen.
Hi, John. How are you?
So, Zen, I know, I try not to go too hard on always focusing in on your great achievements in Hollywood. And she's currently featured in The Banker, which you can see on Amazon and Apple TV and a number of other places. But uh, what's happening with TV and film production right now? And there are all these shows that we want to see another season, another episode. When can we expect Hollywood to start opening the doors again?
Well, that's a good question, John. But currently, right now, the global film industry is facing a $5 billion loss due to COVID-19. And industry leaders all agree that until a vaccine becomes available, Hollywood workplace, especially set life, will just never be the same. In 2019, the international box office, just to put things into perspective, soared 31.1 billion, contributing to a worldwide haul of $42.5 billion. These are huge numbers. Now, the Los Angeles box office, which is a key movie market and economic backbone, was projected to fall by 20% by this month of April compared to last year. And then we have the stock of all the companies that own and finance showing films in cinemas and in theaters, which has drastically fallen. With cinemas closed around the world, revenues could fall, they estimated, by 17 billion by May. Now,
Wow.
although popularity of streaming services are projected to increase, hence The Banker, it's on Apple TV, and I'm currently appearing in The Banker. But Netflix and the straight to digital release of, for instance, Trolls, the world tour, they've already benefited from the straight to digital. And my daughter is 4 and already has seen the online commercials for Trolls. But clearly, that's not enough. And to make up for the losses, a lot of things have to happen between now and Hollywood getting back into full swing. Talks between studios such as Disney, and you just mentioned Disney, but the studio, Disney, Warner Brothers, and our unions, many of our unions, such as the Directors Guild of America and the associations like the Alliance of Motion Picture and TV Producers, they have all suggested changes to basically everything at this point. And from the way love scenes are shot to the handling of props and wardrobe, down to the food on set. And I'm going to tell you something: when production does begin to reopen in the US, it's going to be done in phases. So film permits will only be issued for very small productions initially, while many studio heads are optimistic right now that the larger productions can come back like in July or August. It's looking more like the fall is a far more realistic expectation. So it's going to be a while till another movie gets made. And to that extent, Film Florida is the first to release a very, very comprehensive set of recommendations. They have released a 6-page document, and basically there's 161 recommendations for clean and healthy film, TV, and digital production sets. So this list is extremely long. I went through it last night. It basically omits no more director chairs that are canvas director chairs. It's going to be glass or plexiglass, which are easier to disinfect. No more actor trailers. The introduction of personalized mics and hairbrushes for each individual talent. Director's going to have to limit his takes. They're going to eliminate all open calls and give everyone assigned windows when they can arrive. They're going to have a lot of difficulty with the closeness of actors in group settings. So they're prompting everyone to start wearing face shields and keep the social distancing. They're going to take temperatures on everybody. Temperatures have to be allowed, and we have to give consent as actors for all of these procedures to start taking place. They're going to have administer rapid testing
Wow.
on. There's a lot that's going to happen on every film production studio across the board. There's going to be many hurdles.
Okay.
They have something called a Corona stick, which is a 1.5-meter pole that they use to make sure that everyone keeps their distance. So right now, they're going to start. A lot of things are going to start to hit the production emails for the recommendations on how to proceed.
Okay.
Visual restraints are
Well,
also.
let me ask you this: you breezed through something there. You were talking about you said there's going to be a whole new way of how they do sex scenes. So, can we expect going forward any movies or shows that are still in production at this time? We're going to see a new thing. We're going to see intimate scenes with people in masks.
No, they're actually, listen to this, John. For the love scenes, first of all, everyone would have to test for the virus, get approval, get consent. And what they're asking actors to do for the current situation is to tape the scenes individually and then slice them together in post production.
Wow. So this
Yeah.
is literally social distance Zoom sex scenes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have to test negative to the virus, but in the meantime, they're going to be performing their own scenes separately and then splicing the shots together in post production. I mean, look, Florida officials have indicated that currently, right now, they rely on film and TV productions to help the state get back on to help the state economy get back on its feet. So these are very serious guidelines that we're going to have to follow going back to work. And until there's a vaccine, this industry is just going to have to deal with the new form of producing under the pandemic. There's a great example, actually. In Iceland, there's a filmmaker. He's quite popular. His name is Baltazar Kormákur, and he already started production on Netflix's 8-part supernatural volcano drama called Katla. And basically, in a moment where the entire industry is trying to figure out how to bring production back to life, this guy is among the first to basically drive back in. He has a studio in Europe that's 45,000 square feet, and he has the actors in color codes as well as crew so that he could make sure that nobody is in the same space over the capacity that the guidelines have given him. So they returned to set about 3 weeks ago, and they're shooting straight into July. And he's saying that right now, the color-coded spacing system is so that people wearing the same colors know which group they are, and they can only be allowed in certain spaces. So there'll never be more than 20 people with the same color.
Wow.
And right now, these are the new measures that they're doing. They've also enlisted the help of a company called DNA company called Decode Genetics, and Decode is testing all of the actors and crew on set. It's a private company, so the production pays for that. But they test everybody to make certain that they are safe and that they could proceed to work. And if somebody does get sick, then they remove them out of that unit to make sure that the rest of us are not going to get contaminated.
Zen, as a great Hollywood personality, I have to ask you about one of the hot new crazes in streaming television, this Joe Exotic show. Do you have any insights into whether or not Carol Baskin fed her husband to a tiger?
I have no intel on that one. I would just have to follow my gut. But women currently right now in quarantine can do very crazy things under the circumstances.
Yeah.
Ask her.
You would imagine that right now, there's probably a lot of women thinking about how they could feed their husband to a tiger.
I'm pretty sure. I could think of a few. Luckily, I'm on good terms with mine, and I don't have to feed him to anyone just yet. But I've had a few phone calls from very upset moms who are over the top with homeschooling, who are just not having it.
No, yeah, I think my kids were over the other day, and we were talking. We were playing some cornhole outside. And I asked them. I said, "Hey, they canceled school. Would you rather go back to school?" And at this point, all three of my kids actually want to go back they would have rather go back to school, even though kids, my daughter's also waking up at 3:30 in the afternoon and eating pancakes for dinner, but
How old is she?
18.
Okay, so my niece is 16. She just woke up, and
Right.
this is. I was like, what do you guys do all night? How does it, it's the same thing. They're on Instagram, they're on their computers, they're either playing games, online, and they're waking up at 2, 3 in the morning. There's nothing to do. 2, 3 in the afternoon.
I think it's part of the pandemic sleep routine is, you almost can't go to sleep before 1 in the morning. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because you're like relaxing more during the day, so you have more energy, but I can't get myself into a good sleep pattern before 1 a.m.
I feel the same way, and I'm tossing and turning, and it's just, I don't know. Our circadian rhythm is definitely off because we wake up. A lot of us don't have rules about what time we're going to bed anymore, and what time we're getting the kids to school in the morning, and what time we have to. We're not time managing the way
Right.
we used to
It's like
pre-pandemic.
it's like it's like one big impressionist collage,
Yeah.
our daily time schedule. All right, Zen, I got to leave it there. We're out of time.